Welcome back to the Melbourne Strength Culture Podcast. Number 1 in the hearts, number 1 in the charts. Asterix, number 42 in the charts currently. Thank you very much for everybody that listens on Spotify. We actually want to run it up a little bit faster and harder. We want to take strength training to the masses. We believe that we have the vessel here on this podcast to do it. So if you're watching on YouTube...
And the heart.
If you're watching on YouTube, run across to Spotify and make sure you listen to it on mute or on one audio up, so it's not mute. There might be like a algorithm thing there that it picks up that it's on mute. But
we don't know that, but we can't risk it.
I've had those thoughts as well. You can't trust that algorithm.
Yeah, you got to put it on one decibel, I think is what we'll call that.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you very much for everybody watching, listening, subscribing. We do appreciate it. We're back with the Boythers today after the Queensland Clout Tour, which was an absolute success. We pumped it, Buzz. Well done, man.
No, well done to you, man.
Donnie, absolutely. Before we left...
Well done to Donnie.
Before we left, Donnie and I had this meeting and we're like, how do we capitalize on post-podcast production? So all the little reels and stuff you're looking at, we really wanted to get the traction that we wanted from the tour. And Donnie was like, I'll start making the reels.
He's really working for that Louis V bag.
Yeah. And as soon as Donnie started making the reels have been popping off. So well done, Donnie.
Yeah,
You've capitalized.
You should see Donnie behind the camera right now. Louis V from head to toes.
Yeah.
Gold chain, gold veneer.
There's no stopping him.
We are here.
The Louis Vuitton Don is a Kanye lyric, so he's all yours.
It works even better with Donnie being Donnie.
Yeah. And covered in Louis V.
Louis V.
Dripping.
Yeah, but we are back with the boy there. So how have you been, Charles and Dids? It's been a little while.
Didier and I, use proper English, Didier and I were crushing it the week that you guys left. Just took captain of the gym.
The show goes on.
It was ours. We trained hard with Sandalis and Brick.
Couple of interns.
Just went heavy and I've just kicked it. We just kicked it. We trained. That was it. Just there wasn't much to it. Well, I'm in pro raw comp block, so all I was doing.
Oh yeah, how's that going?
It's going good. It's next Friday, which is today, Tuesday. It's literally like 10 days away. So
yeah,
it's going well. It's good. 2 of our competitors got COVID, so they missed a week of training, but
that's all right.
They did their ISO. They're out now, so it is what it is. You know, roll with the punches. But it will be fun to take those guys down there. But me and Dids we just manned the fort. We didn't do anything. We took the interns to Industria for an excursion.
We love a good excursion. Yeah.
How was that?
It's good. I've become addicted to the double egg and cheese. 2 of them though.
2 double eggs and cheese
on a cold morning. Beautiful.
The chili
Simple,
bang,
but amazing.
The chili bang,
crazy.
I've not yet had it.
Oh, brioche bun, big fat Italian sausage patty,
I got the
bacon,
bun.
and chili omelette.
Sausage.
Yeah.
Salute.
You need to lie down after.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That brioche.
Our next excursion with the interns is going to be to that place that Loris was helping out at in Carnegie.
Oh, Coco's Patisserie.
Fresh bread
Patisserie. I highly recommend Coco's Patisserie. If you're ever in Carnegie, head down to Coco's Patisserie because
anything you try to say that isn't like just straight up English, you get super phlegmy.
Patisserie. But no, all honestly,
I'm pretty sure that's like a French word, yeah?
It's a great place for an excursion because they've got a glass window into the baker and you can actually just witness the baker making the goods.
Daily.
And the baker is like renowned in Australia as one of the best bread makers. And that's why we always get the bread here. We get the free bread.
Everyone's got free bread.
One of the perks of Melbourne Strength Culture membership is you get free bread.
Yeah, we get both kinds of bread.
Yeah.
Loaves.
Sourdough and otherwise.
And other dough. Crazy. But yeah, Queensland. Let's quickly recap it, bruz, because there was a couple of funny things that definitely happened throughout the tour that I think we need to cover. The first one is Luke Lehman. When we get to his house, we drove in. We just picked the car up.
I was shitting myself.
You were so nervous.
I was nervous as.
Why were you nervous?
Well, there's like a figurehead in the industry. Like, he's literally like the smart guy that the smart guys look up to. And I'm like, fuck. If we talk about anything technical, I'm going to sound like a dumb fuck. And I'm like, I just want to leave it. I'm like, I hope I don't sound like an idiot. Even though I know, like, after listening to him on podcasts and seeing like the sort of dude he is.
He's
like,
pretty kickback.
He's a pretty kickback guy. But yeah, I was just wigging it. And also the podcast, like it's who's who of the fitness industry. Like we're going to go in, we're talking, It's just everything. Like, I feel like it was surreal, but also like nerve wracking at the same time. And then I'm like, we're rolling up to this guy's house with 2 fucking monster suitcases. I don't think we even let him know how much shit we've got. He was probably thinking like, oh, it's a tripod with a camera. And we rock up with 2 monster suitcases. And we're like, what's up, fam? We can take over your fucking living room.
Not to say we were sculling those. What are they? Shine drinks.
Shine.
I had rapid indigestion going on. My fucking chest was just gurgling away the whole time.
Yeah, I had rapid anxiety. I
Yeah,
banged like 4. My hands were shaking. I'm in the car, like I'm not even nervous at this point. I'm just like, hands are shaking, quivering. I'm like, oh. I don't know. Have you ever seen Beavis and Butthead?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, is it Beavis? Yeah, when Beavis has caffeine. Yeah, have you ever seen that?
Nah, I can't.
Oh, bro, it's fucking. Oh, we'll pull up clips later. He just loses it. That was me.
Anxiety.
So it's an energy drink. Shine.
Nah,
but
it's not. It's a nootropic.
Vitamin B, that L-theanine.
It's
Piss
Doesn't have, what do
fluoro.
you say? It has like anti.
you piss success after you have it.
It has
Yeah,
ingredients.
you piss success. Well, yeah, pretty much the thing with caffeine is it's like when you dose it, there's a crash afterwards.
Not the nootropics though.
Nah, but you get that alpha GPC, that theanine, and what it does is it's supposed to balance out that crash.
Okay,
So
can I
you just keep redlining
can I
at all
just-
times, brother.
Can I just jump in here? Buzz obviously rolls with the Lebo voice, and then he's been upset lately when people.
I haven't been upset.
People have associated maybe some of the less nice aspects of the Lebo bro lifestyle with him. It's like, brother, you've made your bed. You got to sleep in it now.
Yeah.
Like
That's
people
too
say,
funny.
oh, this song is a Buzz type of song. This
No, it's
thing
not.
is a Buzz type
No,
of thing.
but I
like-
think it was not so much that. I probably should have looked past the fact that I've been doing some
I
pretty
know.
choco shit.
You've been stereotyped and you're not happy about it.
Well, no, the thing it's not even the stereotype. That's fair enough.
I know why
but
you
it's
got
when
upset.
it's when they bring in the music because I really like music
Quality
and
music.
I pride myself on listening to good music.
Yeah.
And then these songs come in and it's like a fucking Spanian Hudus remix. And it's like a side trans like Hudus. And I'm like, bro, fucking like it's like and it's almost like the this is me wigging it. It's like the potential implication that they think I like this music.
No good. We can't
And it's
have
like, nah, brother.
I got this. What about it? What about behind closed doors? They're taking that music like, yeah, I got this from Jamie Buzz at the gym.
Oh, if that's happening, then we're gonna have to start cracking heads.
Because the thing is, I don't know. I knew exactly why you got upset because you've actually got good taste in music, and like when we have our shindigs outside of work, you're the one that controls the music, and you do play good music.
tracks.
And that is crap. That shit that they've
Oh
been.
man, it hurts me.
Yeah,
It hurts
So-
me.
So just if anyone out there,
He
Buzz
takes
wants
it
everyone to
personal.
know he's a music connoisseur.
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 Don't forget.
Connoisseur.
loves
That's
Will
right,
Smith. Loves Will Smith.
Yeah, Will
Um,
Smith.
Yeah, so we rock up to Luke Lehman's house with these two suitcases. We start knocking on the door, and they're just not answering the door. We're standing there for about 10, 15 minutes. We were convinced that they saw us get out of the car with 2 fucking bags full of luggage, and we're like, who the fuck are these idiots?
They're staying with us.
Just stay with us.
So then we're knocking on the door, like getting louder. By the end of it, we're
like throwing left, right.
like slapping this door. Finally, they open it, and it takes like 30 minutes to. We literally take over there. We get the 2 suitcase, open up the fucking in the lounge room. We're pulling. There's cables everywhere. The dogs are going crazy. But then, obviously, probably my favorite podcast we've ever done.
Oh, 100%.
We're getting him up here, aren't we?
Yeah, he's back in May. If you want to see Luke Lehman part 2, let us know. I'm pretty sure we will because he broke all the records.
In
Hattie
the
Boydell smoked our records within about 3 days. Next upload was Luke Lehman. Within about 3 days, he just smoked all of hers. So
Animal.
it was actually really cool.
smoked
So we
it.
know that you guys would be interested. If you are interested, drop us a comment for that rhythm, but also just to let us know because we have potential to get him straight back on in May in the studio.
I'm
Obviously,
sure he's got some more stories.
yeah, he wanted to call himself Harry Trenbledore. Trenbledore.
The secrets of Trembledore.
He's found his niche.
Because he absolutely went fucking viral on Tren-Tok. We interrupt this program for a word from our sponsors, which are ourselves for today's episode, Melbourne Strength Culture. We need to let you know that we have some workshops, some lifting technique workshops coming up in the later weeks of April and early weeks of May. April 23rd, we have our squat workshop. Very limited tickets left. On April 30th, we have the bench press workshop. Plenty of tickets left. And the deadlift workshop, which is on the 7th of May. These are 2-hour workshops just doing lifting technique with Didier, myself, and maybe Charles. Haven't checked with Charles if he wants to do them. Charles? He wasn't listening to any of it. That's all right. But we have the workshops coming up. 2 hours on a Saturday morning, $109, limited tickets. If you're interested, that will be the first link in the bio. Secondary to that, we are available for online coaching. If you are new to consuming our content, which we know a lot of you are on this podcast, it seems to be growing quite well, and we thank you for that. But if you are new here, we are available for online coaching. You can hire one of us to help you with your journey to strength, fitness, body composition, whatever. We are here to help you. We have a range of options, and again, they will be in the bio as well if you're interested for online coaching. So online coaching and the workshops are available. Back to the program, which is crazy. It's the first time we've ever had something really pop. Obviously, we had something with Gabe go to like 70,000. One of Hattie's ones went to 80. This went to 1.6 milli. Straight to the
Throw the
millies.
numbers out there. Throw the numbers out there for the people.
Let them know our stats.
Let them know.
I don't know, but it went to 1.6 milli, and the comment section very quickly turned into men trying to find Tren, men trying to buy Tren, men trying to recommend different stacks,
Arguing about
Tren, arguing about quantities of Tren, and
Ripping Jamie for blurring out the doses.
everyone
That was the part that got me the most. Was
That
why
was so
people
funny.
were so angry that you beeped out the fucking.
Yeah, well, the reason was because
Fuck
we
off.
thought it would be inappropriate to just start giving out Tren doses.
Yeah, but do you know what I find funny?
Yeah.
The next day, there's pretty much a tutorial on how to cook Tren on the next day.
That got taken down though.
Yeah.
And that got
Fucking fair enough.
That
There
got
was
to
some
40.
detail.
That got to 40K quicker than the first one got to 40. So that would have gone fucking crazy too.
Gangbusters.
But then obviously someone wasn't too happy. Who's the health minister? Brett Sutton probably swooped in and pulled that one down.
No good.
Wasn't too happy with that one. But the Tren-Tok is a crazy place, and I would officially say the TikTok comment section is worse than the YouTube comment
Terrible.
section.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible.
Holy shit! There is some scumbags out there. Wow.
Breed's bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Why have we not seen it on any other social media platform than TikTok?
I think part
I
of it's
think-
the anonymity, and then part of it is you're just getting spat out to
So
people
many random-
so far from the people
Yeah,
who
the
usually
the
like your
algo.
shit, and you're like, who are these cunts talking shit? And they don't care about you, they don't know you, so they just rip in. They've got no reason to like you, so they just say exactly what they feel.
Well,
yeah, I suppose with the.
look- go
So
on.
I was gonna say with Instagram, it's usually your followers that you're interested. So usually you're gonna have good, decent relationships
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
For the most part, but
But-
TikTok again, all these.
I think it must have to do with like people's attention span. YouTube's like longer form content. I was reading Luke's post or the Muscle Nerds post, and it's like maybe people with no attention spans just suck, and they're more attracted to TikTok.
Yeah. No, I think there's something in that. Whereas YouTube might have bad comments, but often they're
Few
a
and
bit
far
more
between.
But they're a bit more detailed comments. They're a bit more well thought out. They're a bit more. Whereas that's just like, bang, I feel this. Let's put it out there. No thought about.
It's done.
Is this the right thing to
fuck
say?
that guy. Fuck
him,
that
fuck
guy.
him.
Fuck that guy.
Oh, it was absolutely crazy.
Zero
I want to see if I can find.
Your comments are the best. I think between that you're both you copying it for the Will Smith being the hip hop goat, and then your responses to this, it's just lean into it.
Yeah, you lean
People are like,
into
Fuck
it.
you. We're not going to listen to your podcast. We're like, hey, bro, you should listen to the podcast.
Yeah. Everyone was telling me like, oh, great way to build a business, beeping out the key points. No, I'm not listening to your podcast, you scumbag.
And
next day, 1.6 milli. Ooh.
we might not mention them, but if you go through there, there's some very questionable usernames as well. Just some very odd like profile names.
Throw one.
All right, here comes one.
Throw one out there.
Tren is a relationship killer. It destroyed two of my marriages, and it's really addictive. That was one of them.
Oh god.
Where's the one? What's embarrassing? The part again. I feel like you bleeping out the talk took me out of the zone. Just like people, yeah.
Took me out of the zone. It's like, it's the 30-second video, bro. Relax.
Right, this is the best one. I kept giving my wife yeast infections because of my nut pH was so off. She made me bag it up.
Why would you put that on TikTok? Why do you feel the need to share that with people?
I don't know.
What's wrong with fucking?
I don't know, but I'm so excited for the next time we go viral and just get fucking comments.
I'm glad you. I don't know. Me and Bulls wouldn't be able to handle it.
Oh,
See,
mate,
I
that
think-
shit for sure. If there was like some actual criticism that was like sort of warranted, I'd probably be like, oh, and then I'd retreat. But none of that is warranted.
Hey, you've got to lean in, boys.
Nah.
Because I think a lot of people, they take it to heart when obviously something gets a bit more popular and they cop a lot of hate. But the more the comments are coming up, we were loving it. We're like, fucking oath, the algo.
but like warranted criticism is what I'm saying. That
But you're not
shit,
gonna get that.
You wouldn't take that on the chin and be like, oh, you know, he's right.
No, I
like,
wouldn't.
read the shit that these
But it's
guys are
social
saying.
media, man. You're not getting like
algo
in-depth,
boosters.
well thought out criticism. You're just getting trash.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's what if it was well
if
thought
someone
out,
like emails you
warranted.
something, then you might take it to heart a bit more. But no one's gonna do that.
As
Dickheads.
as we would say, these people have rocks in their head.
Yeah,
Rocks in their head.
John Don, I'm not watching your shitty podcast.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, John.
Thanks,
But
Johnny.
I think that was my favorite podcast we've ever done. So that one, and then I really loved the Jared Powell shoulder physio
Quality
one as well.
episode.
Yeah, that was
Quality
great.
episode.
Highly recommend checking that one out if you haven't listened to it. It's episode number 20. Jared really just sort of added a lot of layers to the discussion related to pain, and I'm sure most people have probably heard these things, but just really logical points of view relating to it. And wasn't afraid. One thing I was really happy with, he wasn't afraid to also not put exercise on a pedestal. A lot of people still put like, all you have to do is get stronger or move better. Even
Do this exercise.
yeah. Even with his lens, he's like that. Even in and of itself, is a little bit redundant or not reductionist. Sorry,
Reductionist, yeah.
I suppose I was listening to it as well because I sometimes forget when I'm listening to things to take the lens out. Like that's not just we're not just dealing with strength athletes here. He would have a lot of general pop that are in chronic pain for years on end.
Yeah.
And so just giving them exercise to do is not going to like resolve 15 years of chronic pain. Always, but yeah, it was interesting. And I was going to say for people because he did the seminar at Strength Culture a couple of years ago. A lot of the stuff that he spoke about then was in the podcast. So the podcast was a really good snippet of his seminar stuff. So
Yeah.
I would highly recommend.
It was
listening to it.
it was a great episode. Really was.
You are the placebo.
You are. Placebo everything. And he also got in on the clout jokes.
Oh, it's the best.
He was lapping up the clout
He's
jokes.
a fan, which we love.
He said he got on Twitter just for more clout, which is unreal.
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah, he said Twitter's fucked.
He
as
said
well.
Twitter's fucked.
But Twitter's fucked because it's professionals. Like it's
Yeah.
like they've got like credibility in the.
They go head to head. It's a different world.
You're on. You used to be on Twitter.
I used to be, but then I was like
Just to
over
observe.
consuming news as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it
During
just took me
COVID.
back to when I was 16 again. And like the world is such a bad place.
I think it's-
so I just left it because now my motto is ignorance is bliss. You know, for
100%.
one thing.
I think
Ignorant,
clout.
yeah.
I think
And
Twitter
bread.
is like the TikTok comment section, but it's generally people a bit older who think they're a bit more distinguished or professional, but they're doing the same thing. They're just ripping into each other.
They are. It's
actually
it's crazy. I like how old mate Elon though, just major shareholder of Twitter now, is changing everything up. Which
Well,
is
no,
cool.
so they offered him a place on the board and he's now rejected it, which apparently leaves it open for a hostile takeover. So by him not being on the board, I don't know how. That's the headline I read.
Wow,
But yeah.
Elon.
So he's going to take
So
it
you,
over.
so you have been on Twitter.
Apparently.
You've been listening.
Nah, it's everywhere. I got my finger on the pulse, my ear to the streets.
So ignorance isn't bliss, after all.
Yeah, just
certain topics. It's real bliss. Yeah.
certain topics.
Yeah.
With the whole, as a bit of a topic change, slight topic change, with the whole Queensland thing, obviously you guys were there, experienced it, and of course you'll have feelings about the whole experience. But I think for me and Charlie here, just obviously doing our usual routine of the week, watching it all happen, I'm like, even though like we weren't there, I'm like, fuck, we've made it. Like this is like, no, but seriously though, I'm like, this is
Take it
nuts.
easy,
Like
take it easy.
you guys have just fucking travelled interstate, and are just fucking podcasting for a few days, and that's all you're doing.
Yeah, well,
One
it's a
after-
bit
I'm
of
like-
pinch me.
Yeah, like it was pinch me for me, and I wasn't even there. I'm like, this is fucking sick. Like, it's just.
That's-
who
is
would have
that-
thought this could happen like a few months ago?
That's the first time you've travelled with work for Strength Culture, hasn't it?
Yeah,
So,
we were gonna do
were gonna do
seminar that was
2020.
pre-COVID.
Yeah.
and then
Perth.
yeah,
So I think because Jamie and I have done a bit of that before, and we did Sydney,
Sydney
Brisbane,
twice,
Sydney
Brisbane
twice,
once, Brisbane once.
We've done it for powerlifting, even powerlifting meets. You go, it's pretty exciting. So it's fun to travel for
I think
work.
this is like the new frontier, doing it
Podcast.
purely for content. Like there was no
Yeah,
competitions
well,
involved, no seminars.
we
It was
thought
just-
about it more. Jamie and I, obviously. So we got a sponsor, and I want to actually make a public thank you to Ethan Fleming and Get Going for jumping on and covering a percentage of the trip because.
the Roman.
Yeah, the Roman
barefoot
sandals,
sandal.
the barefoot sandal guy. Because you guys, as soon as I put that story up, like we joke about this manifesting thing, but more often than not, you just got to put these ideas out there, and there are going to be people, and if you've got the right people around you, support either is going to come directly, like you guys are going to support the ideas that I come up with in the same way I support your ideas, but also if you're in a good group of people, there will be people that can help and actually provide resources, not just monetary resources, but provide resources to get these ideas off the ground. And that's all that was. It was, all right, we're doing this podcast. We don't want to do Zoom things, which means we have to travel in some capacity. How can we make it viable? We need sponsorships. And like we joke about the Manscaped thing, it hasn't worked out exactly where we're at. We've left the door open with them. But obviously, I put it out there to my followers, and I had a few people buy it. But Ethan was straight away like, hey man, like I'd love to support you guys are doing different things. It aligns obviously with the careers stuff, and it was just a really cool thing. So I do want to publicly just thank Ethan and Get Going for taking a risk with us. I know that it's worked out well for you guys as well.
My sugar daddy.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, and hopefully we can continue to work together in the future. But if you are interested in working with Get Going, who are a national mobile health and fitness brand, serviced over 10,000 clients and growing. You can go to www.getgoingpt.com.au/careers, because we know there are a lot of PTs and dietitians that do follow us who would obviously benefit from working with them. Yeah. And we can't thank them enough. They've given us a chance to really make something new and exciting for our business and our brand grow. So.
Yeah, for sure. And to just like tangent off of that, I think something that we see and get to see a little bit of, like, with young and upcoming PTs and strength coaches and whatever else, like, you've got to develop it somehow, you know? And I think that PT is by far the best thing at the start. It's like, oh, I just want to fucking
Gen Pop.
online coach, or like, I'm too good for Gen Pop or whatever else. It's like, nah, I think you've got to lay a foundation, because in the long term, you're probably going to be a better online coach or
everything,
better strength coach in a semi-private system or whatever else. So if anyone that thinks they're too good for PT, take it the fuck easy. Develop yourself, do that shit, because it'll pay off a long way in your development as a fitness professional.
We've mentioned it before, but all of us started training Gen Pop.
We still all are training Gen Pop.
Gen Pop, but similar clientele.
In different settings.
In different settings. Like similar clientele to the type of people that Get Going would work with. So I think no one is above that, and there's no reason to think that way. And that's part of your growth. Like wherever you want to go, that's part of your growth.
For sure. Up to the next one though, we've got Sydney rolling in. I think we've confirmed. I've just got to clear one thing with one last person, but Sydney will be next. Australian strength coach is in, confirmed. James Smith PT has given me the backdoor email, so the door has opened with James Smith PT, which is fantastic. Probably the wrong word, James. Probably.
James Smith has opened up his back door for us, and we're going to be coming down and in.
The way we like to go.
Orifice.
So that will be a fun one. Beth Claire Fitness and Lockie Wilmot.
Lockie Wilmot, mate, will be a good one. Yeah. I'm actually looking forward to that one.
Yeah. With Athletes Authority. So those 4 are confirmed. I think we're going to try and get 6 up there though. So we've got a couple more. So let us know who you want. The Spaniard has been requested by a lot of people.
Spaniard.
Do we try?
Nah, Hanji.
Do we try?
100%, man.
100%, man. He's got a book.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Dean read the book. Author. I want to.
Of course he did.
Dean read it. So
what a mugger.
I want to. Apparently, it's mad. Talks about his time in jail and everything.
Oh, maybe we read the book before we before we go up
read
there.
The book.
You have to get the content.
Have to.
But
we've got another big one. Which do you want to go?
I was going to ask if we had any hectic eats planned.
Up there, no, we don't need. If you got a good spot up there,
I really want to do wings and tins.
Yeah, done. Lock it in.
Alex Hayes said we have to go next time.
Hazy, can Hazy take us?
He'll take us.
Maybe Hazy and Berkman.
Yeah, we'll go for sure. So wings and tins. It's just beers.
Tins or tings?
Tinnies.
Tins malt. Beers.
Tins malt.
Beers malt.
Yeah, beers malt.
You want a couple of beers malt?
Wings,
couple of wings and beers
pale
malt.
ales. I know Alex Hayes is a big fan of pale ales.
Fruit, flowers.
Nah, fuck that, man.
Flowers in
I don't
beer
get
form.
It. No good.
He likes. Yeah, you're a true blue.
Pale ales can suck my
get
ass.
me a Carlton. Fucking put that in me, brother.
Great
Pale
Northern
ales should be banned.
I like Great Northern.
They're shit.
Great Northern.
They're shit. But yeah, anyway, speaking of fucking they're shit.
Wings and tins, we're going because I've been craving wings.
Yeah. We've got to take you to Cielos with the hot sauce.
Yeah.
Me and Jared K will take you to Cielos.
Blue cheese sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, Cielos.
Speaking of guests, back to that. First, fuck pale ales. Second, the guest that we're looking for is George Kambosos.
He's got his fight in. When's his fight?
I don't know. I forgot, but I bought the tickets. I haven't bought the tickets. The tickets are reserved.
Nice.
So, can you tell people who they're reserved through?
Yeah, the Hellas fan club.
Can they sponsor us?
Well, this is the thing. Jim Kambosos, who I tried to message. I tried to message you, Jim. Shouts out, Jim. Shouts out, George.
We still love you.
We still love you.
Even though we got a Nothing back.
In their defense, I did message on the day of the press conference at Marvel Stadium. I had no idea. I'm like, oh, the fuck. I saw George put up a story like in Melbourne, and I'm like, I've got to message him. And I appealed to the fact that we're Greek.
Yeah, read out the message. It's a great
I'm like,
message.
Hey, Jim, I help run a sport and fitness podcast here in Melbourne. Been a dream of ours to have George on the podcast. We have a team of a couple Greek Australians and would love to champion one of our own. What he's achieved with your support is amazing, not just as a boxer, but as the first Greek Australian to do it. We would come to you guys, of course. We understand you're quite busy, etc., etc., etc. But yeah.
Greek flag, Aussie flag.
I've got a
Unite?
question.
Yeah, the Greek Aussie flag.
And the handshakes.
I messaged George as well, but that was a long shot.
That was, just so everyone, because we might have skipped there, that was to his dad.
That was to his dad.
Not George.
I thought because he had lesser followers
He'd get a
than George,
response.
I'd get a response.
No good.
But one of the boys, he sent me a screenshot of him going back and forth with Jim Kambosos on Messenger. So I think I might have a potential in.
Yeah.
Easy.
Because so what happens is that with the HFC, Jim Kambosos gave 1,000 tickets to the Hellas fan club, and it's just a reserved section of Greeks at Marvel Stadium.
We'll go
It's going to be hectic.
We'll go full Hellenic.
Do you want to hear something? Do you want to hear something pretty funny about that? So with the HFC, they're like, "Oh, give us the names, and we'll reserve tickets." And there's a Brown and a Smith on the on the list of 19.
Crazy.
And and the message they got back is like, "Hey man, there's a couple of names that aren't Greek on there."
Oh, you're kidding. They
I don't
vilified
know
me.
if I should be saying it.
Respond back. Nah, man.
No,
we're all
I'm
Greek.
not dealing with it.
Everyone's
they've got Greek in them. They've
See,
got
I
Greek
could
in them.
sneak in. They'd think I'm Greek by my surname.
You got a
but
Greek
Yeah,
last name.
Vasulio.
Vasulio. Uzi.
Smithopoulos. Maybe you just put Smithopoulos.
chuck an Opoulos on there.
Smitharakis.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
We went to Chapel Street the other night for dinner. We had dinner. We're walking along Chapel Street to get ice cream, and we bumped into someone that is a 1 degree of separation from Nick Kyrgios. We ran to the Nasi Kokonakis.
Oh, yeah.
And Marcus LaGreca knew his mate, so they're talking. So we're staying there with the Nasi Kokonakis. And me and Buzz
I
like,
can't believe you didn't put the feelers out to get him on the potty.
Fuck no.
that's
no
what I wanted
chance.
to ask.
Jamie
No,
Smith would have.
so I walked past him. I walked past him. I looked at him like we made eye contact, and I'm like, I can't be fucked with this. And I just kept walking. I was like, what am I going to do? Hey, bro, big fan. But also, the guy was lining up to get into electric. I'm not going to go up to him like,
Bro.
hey, brother, I run a podcast. Do you want to come down? And we're with fucking 8 guys.
You could have gone the Greek Aussie route again.
No way. No
But
way.
the funny
cool.
thing, Marcus knew his mate.
Well,
Marcus stopped to talk to both of them.
Yeah.
yeah. Gangster.
So-
Because
I just wanted to get ice cream, man.
Yeah.
We were fucking walking
Like,
3
we
Ks
were, we were also, I think we were all in
like-
a food coma.
I was like, pro athlete, I need to get this ice cream. I just
Yeah.
kept
No,
walking.
but the reason we asked is because me
That hazelnut choc.
Me and Booz
Look
were
at
like,
that
oh, should we
peanut butter
ask him
bowl
to
of
jump on the
crumble.
podcast? And we're like, nah, fuck that. He's
All right,
not
fair enough.
But then we're like, would Jamie do it?
We'll get him to you.
If you were there.
No,
Yeah.
100%.
Shoot
would
your
have
shot.
asked him.
Always shoot your shot. You got to shoot your shot, boys. You have to. It just has to happen. It just, yeah, that's right. We'll get him. No, like it's not.
I
It
feel
has to
like, I
happen.
feel like we've failed you.
No, not at all. Never, boys. Never.
He's disappointed.
Never. But we'll chat about it off air. We'll chat about it off air.
It was a reprimand.
Thought it was funny.
First morning, boys.
Reprimand.
Boys. Yeah. So that would be the recap and the future plans. We also will be going to America at some point. That is also going to be happening. We may already have a sponsor, not lined up, but somebody that can really help us out over there. So that would be cool.
A few people asked me when am I doing a traveling podcast, and I said global or nothing. I don't want this fucking domestic travel. No good.
Mr. Worldwide.
No.
Not Adelaide.
Nah.
Sorry, Adelaide.
The plan will eventually be that we all travel together, but we're not there yet, unfortunately. It will come though. It will come. And again, if you enjoy our podcast, help us out. Drop comments. It does G us up when you drop comments, likes, and shit. Like it does definitely.
All that dopamine.
Yeah, those dopamine, man. Those dopamine for social media is like nothing else.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
crazy.
hooked.
It's absolutely crazy.
Inject it.
All right, now that we are, I guess we are trying to climb the health and fitness charts. Let's talk about
Health and fitness.
some. Actually, before we get there, have you guys seen Uncut Gems?
All right.
Hang on.
Mate, don't worry. Me and Buzz saw it well before you guys.
And what were your
Charlie
thoughts?
appreciates art.
I liked it.
You liked it? Did he? Have you seen it?
I've not seen Uncut
But also,
Gems.
but I will say that Buzz and I watched it. He watched it first. He's like, I liked it. It's weird. I like weird shit. And I embrace shit for... I go into things... I love reading reviews of movies and reading trash reviews, but then I don't pay any attention to them, and I just watch the movie with open mind. Anyway, I love doing that. That's my thing.
Real philosophical. I
just
like
like-
open shit.
Oh, because like even now, I'm watching the Disney trilogy of Star Wars, and like the Star Wars fans can it. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I've
but
enjoyed it for what it
with
is.
those big franchises, they love
cop it,
they
yeah.
love to just shit on the new stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this isn't like the original. Like, calm down, cunt. Like, come on.
40 years later.
Look, I can see issues with it, but again, I've enjoyed it for what it is. But yeah, Uncut Gems. So we watched it without. Because now I feel like people, when you tell them, oh, they're watching it, it's either they're the pressure's on to have a decision whether they like it or not.
You saw it before it was a thing.
Yeah, so but I would watch it again. You asked the other day, would you watch it again? I'd watch it again now.
Fair enough. Didier, you're going to have to see it and give us a rundown.
Next poddy, I'll let you know.
Crazy. Alrighty.
Uncut
Back
Gems.
to Uncut
Gems.
I was just sat this meals and
So
Uncut Gems.
apparently that was the most viral piece of content ever, but somehow me and Charlie just dodged
'cause
it.
you're not on TikTok.
I'm slowly on TikTok,
We're
but
old.
dodged it.
Wait, what's this?
The Uncut Gems when she says that.
So you don't
It's
even
exactly Buzz too.
mate. We're old. We're done. We're
the
washed up.
most shared piece
We're
of content
finished.
ever.
Really?
Yeah.
We're
John,
finished,
We're behind the eight ball.
Never
Julia
fucking heard of it.
Fox saying that she was just sat these meals in and when he ran Uncut Gems.
It's actually fun.
It's so funny. She's an oddball.
It's actually
She's an
addictive to
oddball.
watch it. The way she says it, I don't know. It's like Uncut Gems. Like it just, you can just watch it over and over again.
Wait, so it's like she fucked up, like just a weird
No,
inclination
it's
in
just-
the voice,
it's-
or she's taking the
it's-
piss?
No, that's just her. The way she emphasizes words and stuff. It's very like because there's another one where she's like talking about like dating billionaires, and then the reporter's like, "Oh, is that enough for the billionaires?" And she's like, "No, never." Like just the way she talks.
Pick that.
It's just
She
odd, man.
must be a really good fucking actor.
She's
'cause I didn't
odd.
pick that up at all in the movie.
But she knows what she's doing. She's chasing clout. She knows how to do it. She chases clout.
She's taking inspiration from us.
Yeah. Alrighty. Now that we are a health and fitness podcast, yet again, we're back. We've got to discuss some health and fitness topics. So we put a question box up. We actually got some really good ones. Quite often we just get people abusing us in inside joke ways, but these ones are actually really good. So thank you for giving those. The first one we're going to discuss is, and I think it's a broadest question of Hectic Eats, but we can take it away from Hectic Eats and just say, how do you recommend practically tracking takeaway food that is obviously more for the benefit of, what is
Indulgence.
indulgence, that's the word.
Pleasurable
Pleasurable.
foods.
pleasure.
Pleasure.
foods.
J spots.
Sometimes foods.
How do we track those sort of foods, boys?
You
So-
don't.
Yeah. All right. That's our.
No, I'll let Didier answer, but you don't track the food, but there's things that you can do
That's
around it.
Okay, first, don't. Context. Having it once a month, once a fortnight. Just take it easy. Unless you're 2 weeks out from a bodybuilding show, just eat the fucking steak sandwich. Outside of that,
The sandwich?
Sandwich.
Again,
Yeah.
wait, what about the sandwich?
I
Can
cop
you
it.
eat the sandwich?
I cop it for saying sandwich. So yeah, I'm not gonna
sandwich.
stop saying that.
Double down, lean into
Double
it.
down. So if you have a steak sandwich, don't track it. Look, if you're
If
trying
you
to
want,
get,
I deconstructed it.
look,
I've got
if
the
you-
macros.
No, but yeah, no. Let's not put that out there because then we're feeding into that hyper focused, calorie conscious fucking thing. So
Dog
if you're trying to gain weight, take it easy, you'll be all right. If you're trying to be at maintenance, probably also take it easy. If you're trying to lose weight, look, if you have a big steak sanger, probably just make the other meals in the day lighter. Think less about tracking that meal and just making better choices around it, and you'll be right.
I think
if
a lot
you're
of it
having
is-
it like 3-4 times a week and you're trying to lose weight, look, it's probably not going to help.
Drama.
But outside of that,
What are some of the choices that people can make around? Let's say they're going to go to Clayton Steaks and they're going to have. They know it's going to be about 1,500 calories worth
Yeah.
of food. What choices can
So-
they make to work around that?
more often than not, when we're going out eating these types of foods, it's going to be higher levels of fat and higher levels of enjoyable carbs. Like we're not going out and getting brown rice generally. So more likely than not, we've probably got to trim some fat and carbs. Some other meals, go for leaner cuts of meat.
The classics.
Just have more protein in those other meals because often it'll be less protein in those meals. Have more fruits and veggies because that's going to be more filling, more low calorie, and then we'll balance out. Simple as that.
So-
It's like
yeah.
it's really through the lens of like damage control.
It's damage control.
really.
One of the
Grilled, being a non.
I heard a...
I'll
you go.
being a non-meat eater, Grilled has a special until October. Get around it. 2 vegan burgers for one. I went yesterday, had it for lunch.
They're trying to throw them out the door. No one wants them.
No, you got to. Nah.
They'll start paying you to come.
You've got
and
to
eat
try them. They're actually great.
They're
I had
taking
2,
up fridge space.
1,000 calories. I made it work. Had a bit of a lighter breakfast. Didn't have as heavy a dinner. We make it work. Simple as that.
I heard a good tip when tracking takeaway food and you're sort of guesstimating. Just add a 20% tax on top of it.
I was about to say that.
So if you think it's going to be $8.50 for the meal, you might just add another.
Or you
160.
You can also just go to like similar options. Obviously, you can track something like grilled because it's a franchise. So if you go out have a burger, looks roughly the same size as the grilled. Just track it as a grilled burger. Maybe add a bit
and add 20%
to 20% tax.
Yeah. So I guess in response to the question as well, like if you are, we don't do it at all, and I don't really push any of my clients
100%.
to do it. But if you are to do it, a lot of people just estimate by looking at the meal and then breaking down the ingredients and tracking that. I think that's fucking annoying. But if you were to do that, you do that as best as possible. That's when the 20% tax, I think, is a fantastic option. And with that as well, you can literally just go on MyFitnessPal if you don't have the premium one, write carbohydrate, and then you can just add
1
by
gram.
carbs.
Yeah.
1 gram. Same with fat. You can do that. Add the grams of that.
I'm also going to throw it out there, and you can ask yourselves this question. Is it worth you breaking down this meal? You've gone out, you're going to enjoy a burger out there. Is it worth sitting there and trying to guess and break down this thing to find the specific macros? Just enjoy the food and that's the commitment you've made. We're going out for burgers, we're going out for steaks. Just enjoy that food. Also remember that nutrition, body comp goals, strength, hypertrophy, all that stuff is averages over time. So one meal doesn't make or break your progress. One bad session doesn't make or break your progress. It's averages over time. So if you're trying to cut and your body weight has been dropping, you're good. If you're trying to gain and your body weight's increasing at the rate you want it, you're good. And that one meal is not going to make or break.
I like that.
So
great point.
just always, and that's what I think people. I know early on. I remember once when I was working with Joey Zingini early days, he had me eating 220 grams of protein, and one day I only ate 180, and I was freaking out. I was literally freaking out. I was like, what's going to happen? And now that I know, I'm like, nothing's going to fucking happen.
I just the problem is though. Us and a lot of coaches who actually know what they're doing will educate clients that that's fine. But there are a lot of coaches out there who make someone feel terrible if they're not hitting things to the gram every day. So that's where a lot of these problems come from. So more people like us just putting information out there that we can be a bit flexible will help.
Yeah, nice.
So, and I also want to say that Chrissy Dask was talking to Chrissy Dask once, and someone messaged her, same thing. She was eating something. She's like, how do you track this? And she's like, I don't. Yeah. So there's a lot of coaches out there, that think the same sort of way that we do. And hopefully if you're listening to this, you want to learn. So
also, congratulations to Chrissy and Alex on your
baby.
Your
Congratulations.
baby summer. Congratulations, guys.
Middle name James.
Summer James.
After LeBron James.
LeBron James, the GOAT. That was a question relating to what was our favourite sporting moment of all time. That would be another one. I didn't forewarn you guys, so if you can't think of one off the top of your head.
Kambosos beating Lopez.
You reckon that's the best thing you've ever seen?
Yep.
Crazy. Charles?
The best thing I've ever seen.
Favourite sporting moment ever.
John Aloisi's penalty in 2005 to get Australia into the World Cup.
I remember coming to school after that, and it was like
scenes.
Kids were just running around the schoolyard.
Man,
we were like year 8.
Massive.
Year 8, maybe?
I think people of like our dad's generation appreciated more because they watched they grew up. Australia never made the World Cup, and there was a qualifier where they were up. It was 97. So to get into the 98 World Cup where they were winning against Iran or something at the MCG, and they should have qualified and they didn't. They ended up drawing and then didn't get through or whatever. But then, it was massive. Fucking John Aloisi, penalty.
Huge moment for Aussie sport.
And Australian soccer has only gone downhill since then.
We had a couple good, and then we
it's
dropped.
shit.
All right.
We're not making this Visuals World Cup.
The one that comes to mind, it was either 2012 or 2013. Me and my friend Cyril were at Shoppo.
Rioli?
Not Rioli. Cyril Cheng. We were at Shoppo at the Telstra watching Game 6 of the finals. Chris Bosch gets the rebound out to Ray Allen from the corner, forces the game.
Huge
7.
moment.
That was a huge moment.
Huge moment.
Goat.
I'll stick on the basketball theme. 2016 finals, NBA finals. LeBron James put everyone on his back and just fucking steamrolled 3-1 down against the best team ever. Most wins in a season.
Unbelievable.
That was huge.
And that was the same year that I was then late to my exam and smashed my car on Warrigal Road into my lecturer. I hit my lecturer on the way to the exam. What a series of unfortunate events that was. Crazy times. Next one. Is line of pull it's the Kassem Handsome strategy, the N1 line of pull. Got to align all the fibers and the load and everything else. Is that really that important, or are there other things that we should be focusing on?
I think it's. I think for the amount of emphasis is put on it, it's like
Too much.
it is too much. I think there's like it's so funny. I was speaking to Thomas Lilly about it when we were in the GC. Name dropper. That's me now. It's like I remember reading in a Mark Ripto fucking. It was like early days. I was like 16.
Gallon of milk.
And it was like I was reading Starting Strength when I was 16, and he's like, don't worry about the specific kind of chest fly. Just build a fucking chest.
Right.
And it's like, bro, it still holds true now, bro. You're benching fucking 60 kilos, or the number doesn't matter, whatever. You're benching fuck all. Yet you're worrying about this bee's dick of accuracy to try and stimulate a specific fiber. It's like there's probably bigger things.
Bigger rocks.
Now, it's not to say that you can improve on old school exercise execution, but I just don't think for the amount of emphasis put on it, it's like what if you don't work through this specific. I thought that when I first heard of like the active range of motion thing through a fatigue management lens, it sort of makes sense. But really, how much spillover fatigue is there going to occur to the point where you're fucking just filling your cup up to the point? It's like, nah. I don't think it fosters robust thought as an athlete, and
I think it builds fragility.
Yeah,
Correct.
Fosters fragility.
Work harder.
I think it's like on.
Good punchy sound bites there, Charles.
You know when
Fucking work harder.
You got any more brain busters for us?
Man, no one fucking works hard enough.
That's true. That's when we're talking about the big rocks. You know, on podcasts they're like, overrated, underrated, properly rated. It's definitely like
Overrated?
It's not bad. It's just definitely overrated. More emphasis and time is spent on it than is necessary. To maybe play as devil's advocate a bit. If you think of maybe like an advanced bodybuilder handling a lot of loads, just by virtue of the fact that they're that strong to put a effective stimulus, maybe then doing a row in a way to try and stop fatigue occurring in other areas, maybe that's going to be a bit more important. But if you're doing one arm lat pull downs with 30 kilos, that's probably not going to be effective for you. Just get stronger at that.
I think the highly nuanced strategies, and there's a lot of them out there, like a lot of the PRI stuff, which we could sort of bring into this grouping of discussion as well. These highly nuanced biomechanical, they definitely have a place because they put a lens that allows you to start to view more effective ways of moving or loading, without a doubt. And I think that is a fantastic outcome as a result of this direction that the industry has taken. However, I think that sort of the overall message can definitely get lost in the weeds of like, at some point though, load has to be progressing, proximity to failure has to be there, training hard, that sound bite actually rings true. And they're more often the things that people struggle with rather than the specific setups or the specific line of forces. So the nuance, it has its place, but I think, I like the over adequately or underrated. I think it is slightly overrated.
The one place that the Kassem sort of stuff helped, definitely the rows. I feel like having the, we've got our lap based row, our mid back focused row, rear delt, or upper back. That definitely, like positioning the elbows, definitely, I think it changed my view on doing rows, like to bias different things.
Sure.
But yeah, like you said, it's not the be all and end all.
I think just an understanding of how, like, with different exercises, your posture, your breathing, the way you hold your body is going to change the emphasis. It's a good tool up your sleeve. It's not, oh my God, you don't understand this, you're going to be held back. If you're getting stronger at your rows, you're going to be right. But it's a good way to kind of look at movement. How can we change the position of our knees in a split squat to change where the bias is going to be? Yeah. So it's still a worthwhile conversation, but as per usual, there's many things we need to be ticking first before this is really going to be the difference between us making progress.
You also got to remember, people are trying to sell products.
For sure.
So they need
education.
They need the next groundbreaking thing. But like Arnold Schwarzenegger, when he used to go squat out in the forest, I don't think he was thinking about the line of pull. He was just fucking putting that bar in his back. And Tom Platt's about
it's the fucking.
He was 100% on mushies.
The pyramid.
The squat rack was my altar.
Yeah, he was on mushies when he was doing that, without a doubt. I've heard stories now about Arnold.
Twisted some things.
Yeah. some of the partying Arnold stories I've started hearing coming out of the woodwork.
Animal.
I think he was an animal on a lot of fronts.
Acid, Hanji.
He was in the acid.
Let's add another layer to it then, the PRI discussion, because we could group that sort of like highly detailed biomechanical sort of understanding of the industry really grabbed it and ran with it, especially in powerlifting. There were a couple figureheads that definitely pushed it probably a couple layers deeper than we probably needed to. But I know off air we discussed PRI, because PRI for us, Charlie, we obviously did the courses when we flew up to Wollongong back in fucking 2016 or whenever it was, but was a pivotal lens that we learnt to use to then understand and apply movement at a greater sort of application.
Well, definitely think there's benefits to be taken from PRI. One, like understanding of anatomy and how muscles
And bones interact.
shorten. Yeah, how when this muscle contracts, it pulls this bone in this direction and whatnot. Definitely, I feel like breathing mechanics is definitely something that still should be taught, because being able to get air in, get air out can obviously, as we know, have an effect on
Pressure.
the nervous system as well, and like being able to get into a parasympathetic state post-training after we've just driven a very, big sympathetic response from training and caffeine and all that crap. So being able to breathe and do like box breathing and stuff and being able to get full inhales, full exhales. So there's definitely that understanding. But to the level that we took it, where it was like, and Dean's someone that comes to mind with his, he had this issue or that issue, and we're like, forgetting breathing like this and fucking adductor pull back and fucking
Left adductor draw back,
this band doing that.
Ischiocondylar adductor squeeze.
I think with a lot of these,
It'll fix him.
I think with a lot of these things, and obviously I haven't done PRI, but obviously learned it from you guys a bit. I think it's similar to like the N1 just kind of lens of movement, hypertrophy training. They matter up to a certain level. If you don't have any understanding of that kind of school of thought, whether it's PRI or whether it's N1, there's probably something for you to learn. But once you've got X of amount of distance in, going any further down that rabbit hole ceases to be important.
Yeah.
Okay, if you understand the relationship with the rib cage and pelvis, how that impacts movement, cool, that's important. But trying to get deeper and deeper and thinking you're going to find some answer, the further into weeds you get, it's just not going to happen.
In one of them, I think the biggest issue is looking at each of them in isolation.
Correct. We need to take a bit from here.
Yeah, because both, I think, for PRI, for me, it's like one, understanding that the body's inherently asymmetrical is massive. But then it's like you look at that, but then you combine with what you know about how robust the fucking human body is as well. Then plus the principles of PRI, that there's probably better positions to execute movements, and then draw from a fucking physiology textbook and understand length tension relationships. You can draw on all these things and see that you're probably going to execute movements better. Asymmetry is not going to kill someone. Like, I think there's something to draw on all of them. Again, it's going too far down any fucking rabbit
It's drinking
hole.
too much of the singular Kool-Aid, without a doubt, and getting drunk on that punch.
Squat University.
But the thing that, because I know PRI had a massive run in the last probably 2 to 3 years. Even if we just marry these two schools of thought that we're currently discussing, the N1 school of thought line of pull, load is very specific to direction and bone position and structure and all that sort of stuff, is actually very, very similar to a lot of the PRI principles in and of itself, which is positioning the skeleton first so then you get adequate tension on. So a lot of these things actually mirror in very similar ways anyway. And it's there's no real reinvention of any wheel here. It's just a slightly deeper, slightly different lens or view or vantage of the same sort of discussions of training.
Applying it in a different context.
So if you don't understand these principles and stuff, it doesn't really matter for the long-term gain for majority of people. Yeah, the nuance is going to come in important for some people, but for the majority, it's just not really something to get caught in the weeds with.
Now, I'd be lying if I was to say that neither of those schools of thought influence the way that I program.
Oh, they definitely do.
Coach.
They're fantastic.
Massively.
They're fantastic.
Massively. So none of it's a knock. It's just like if you're looking at it from a hierarchy of needs standpoint, it's like that detail is not going to make or break you developing a physique or strength and so on. Like that's really all we're saying.
I think the issue with it, just to finish it off, is that it's very common that people get caught up with analysis by paralysis by analysis. They go too deep down that, oh my God, PRI, I'm not in this neutral position, everything else is not working and I can't lift, I can't train. So we've done a full circle with it all. We've digested it. It's taken 6 years, and we're back to a point where it's there. We've used it, and we understand it, but it's not everything.
Yep.
No. Yeah, but it's like, it's so funny because it can look like now it's like the message that we put out is just train hard, just train. And it's almost like this, I wouldn't say douchey, but it's like very, what is it?
Oh, it's douchey,
Kyle,
mate.
Chad.
It's fucking
just, all
Chad.
you got to do is train hard. It's like, well,
Kyle was
sort of-
right.
It's like, huh?
Kyle was right.
Kyle was right. That's it. The Monster Energy. But yeah, no, it's just like we understood this stuff and understood the utility of it. It's influenced it. But at the end of the day, it
comes back to
none of
the
it
same.
fucking matters
Yeah.
if you're not training hard.
It's it's one of those. Everything matters, and I know exactly.
None of it matters.
None of it. None of it.
If you
ultimately
don't train
matters.
hard,
I'm just a speck in the universe.
Yeah.
Nothing matters.
you are the
Alrighty.
universe.
Let us know your thoughts though on both of those. Obviously, they're two different schools of thought, but again, married. Let us know in the comment section like what your experience dealing with either PRI principles or the N1 education principles. And I just want to reiterate the point that Jamie made. They're not knocks on them. They're fantastic schools of thought. Go and consume and learn them. Just don't be so drunk on the punch that you forget about all the other important things as well.
Don't become in a cult. That's the answer.
Yeah.
The goggles.
The goggles.
The goggles.
Stay
Yeah,
away
put
from
your-
culty
You know,
shit.
if you do PRI, don't just put PRI goggles on. Keep them there, but you go suss some other way.
Same way, if you're a powerlifting coach, don't always have the powerlifting goggles on. There's times when that.
Correct.
And let's talk about the non-powerlifting goggles. Segue of the gods. Favorite conditioning protocols for powerlifters. I'm going to swing this one straight to Bruz.
Fucking, you got to do way less than you think. It's probably the easiest one. Another one, bodyweight circuits. Bodyweight circuits are and always will be my go-to for powerlifting.
Why is that?
Because of the amount of fatigue they carry. Fuck all if you do them right. If you start running, so the biggest thing is like the central tenet of it is eccentric stimulus. Like if you're driving an aggressive eccentric stimulus, there's the potential for it to affect training on the following day. So if you can choose, you can do a bodyweight circuit, a bunch of exercises that will probably make you feel better. Yoga push-ups, Swiss ball hamstring curls, kick it on the bike for a bit, rower. It's a very varied stimulus. You're not hammering one thing, i.e. running. You run, there's ground contact, you're hammering the lower limbs. You're probably going to pull up fairly sore. Lower limbs, you probably use them quite a bit in squats, deadlifts, and accessory movements. There's the potential for it to affect training in that way. So by way of doing a bodyweight circuit, you can vary whatever the muscles are that are being used. You can choose exercises, and this is where like the specificity variability discussion comes into it. Give your body what it's not getting, essentially, in its training program, and do it of quite a low intensity. So the biggest thing is when you're programming conditioning for a powerlifter, you got to remember what the main thing is, and the main thing is powerlifting performance. If you're doing conditioning and it's detracting from powerlifting performance, you're doing it wrong. So yeah, that's.
Can we just dive a little bit deeper there? You said at a low intensity. What would be some strategies to sort of gauge where you're at from a conditioning?
Yeah, so
protocol?
the easiest one is, with it all, the intensity that it's required to see benefits. Like remember, what are you doing the conditioning for? Just to feel a little bit fitter, improve recovery time in the gym, and really die a little bit later on. That would help. So
we love that.
We love
Luke
that.
Lehman, you're not making any gains if you're dead.
Exactly.
Hypertension.
Exactly. So from an intensity standpoint, some people are going to go heart rate, RPE. I think the easiest one without even looking at heart rate or RPE would be, are you able to maintain a conversation at the pace you're going at? If so, sweet.
Keep going.
Okay, keep going. That's it. Another one, if you are doing a body weight circuit, if you have to rest longer than 15 to 20 seconds in between each exercise, you're probably going too hard.
Nice. Couple of parameters there.
So you like RPE? It's a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
50% effort.
It's definitely something that we subscribe to, the idea that most people, when pushing for true strength performance in powerlifting, will probably benefit from a little bit of low-level stuff. Probably not in and amongst your competition period specifically, but around the other areas of your training year, I think there's definitely some benefits.
Well, this is the lens I look at it through. It's like if you feel a little bit fitter, you do a set and it's quicker for you to recover, then your potential for output in the subsequent set is going to increase. Like that's the way I look at it as. It's like, all right, you're both resting 10 minutes. The guy that's fitter is probably going to be more recovered than the other guy.
And
know
that
what I mean?
compounds session on set on set, session on session, week on week,
Yep.
block on block.
You don't want being puffed out to be the reason why
You can't handle more.
your perception of effort is really high. That's shit. That's really not good for your ability to gain strength.
Anyone that says 6 or more reps is cardio,
Just
honestly,
beat that into the ground. Stop saying
stop fucking lifting. Seriously.
Stop lifting.
Pisses
Wow.
me
Hit him
off.
with a 1-2 there.
It actually pisses me off. It
Pisses me off.
Angry strength coach. I'm channeling Angus Bradley here, but man, it fucking annoys me. Like they only
lame.
want to do
Why-
five
why does it
reps and
annoy
less.
you?
It just I don't know because like
It's pathetic.
Maybe I came.
It's pathetic. It's
Yeah, it's
fucking
pathetic. It's pathetic.
I think it's a joke, no?
No, but it's not a joke.
No, it's
though.
not a joke.
It's not a joke.
I hear it from no, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. And
I've always read it as a joke.
No, I've
It's
had
a shit
no,
joke,
No,
but I've always read it
I've had
as a
clients in the past that they're like, oh, it's like cardio, and I'm like, no, it's fucking.
It's actually not.
It's you're doing 10 seconds extra work. Shut the fuck up and do it.
All right.
I've cracked it.
Fair enough.
Is that enough?
Lose it.
No, and after pro roll, I'll be doing like circuits again because
Well, we'll keep you accountable to that.
mate, we walked up the Smith's Beach. No, I will be doing it.
Have you guys been surfing?
We went, yeah.
Mate,
Oh, you
mate, have I been
Yeah,
surfing?
Mark.
Mate?
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
the stairs
Fucking
at Smith's Beach are
Call me
steep.
Shaka Zulu.
Me, Deuce, and Buzz walking up them. Oh.
No, I was doing an update before for Thomas Vale, my boy Brutus.
Oh, absolutely. Shout out,
the
Brutus.
fucking
Brutus.
the goat.
I love him.
Go. If you want someone with good music taste, speak to that man. He fucking
He's
knows.
a weapon. I've never met him, but I've got so much appreciation for the feedback that he gives us.
No, he's a legend.
He's an absolute weapon.
Me and him were chatting last night about city planning. Just great chats.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that yesterday. I'm like, fuck, did you?
I'm in. I'm
Town
all in.
planner.
My guy.
That's it.
That video you reshared, the fucking one with the trains. That
Check
was
my story. Oh,
hilarious.
you can't check it, be
Oh,
gone, but
bro.
just I'll reshare it.
We'll
It's
put
a
it-
great video.
Put the link up in the show
Great
notes.
video.
But yeah, what I was saying, I was doing his update before, and I was demonstrating like 3 different kinds of squats to help with like delayed knee extension, being a bit more heel heavy, and I did like 3 reps of each one, and I fucking sat back down to continue talking on the loom, and I'm just like, oh, you gotta do it, squats. But yeah, it was a wake up call.
The best is when
It was
you try and like demo like a deadlift for a client, and then you talk through it, and you get to the, sorry, give me a second.
I think the biggest thing to like listening to Luke Lehman, and I want to do his hypertension course, but the risk factor for all-cause mortality as well, just higher blood pressure.
Is everything.
You're gonna probably
Obesity
die
and high
earlier.
blood
And
pressure,
resting heart rate, you should see like the difference in potential for mortality from like 80 to 90 beats per minute as a resting heart rate, 70 to 80, 60
Like
to
the
70.
brackets.
It's
The brackets,
crazy.
It's actually aggressive how much the percentage for
So
just
like,
death drops off the lower
could
it
we
is.
literally be doing something now for 45 minutes a week?
Not
Potentially?
even.
Not
Not even.
less. Once,
Half
a week.
Marcus
plus-
has seen his resting heart rate on average drop off.
That-
I know it's N equals 1 and 1.
Oh, you see it all the time, though.
Shameless plug. But he's dropped
see it all
off
the time.
fucking 8 BPM in the space of like 4 weeks.
And can that literally be not ensuring, because there's no guarantees in life, but could we be extending our life by 5 to 10 years by doing this stuff?
This,
Like
I reckon
100%.
this,
I reckon
this
it improves
podcast
quality of
title
life
will
straight off the
make
bat
you
as
live
well.
longer.
Live longer podcast.
Secrets to living longer.
Yeah, call me Huberman.
Or you could just walk out on
Huberman.
the
We're
road.
hunting Huberman.
On the
He's
road.
number 1 on the health and fitness charts. We're coming for you. We're
Man,
not.
He gets millions.
We need you guys to get over the Spotify charts. Last one. Who will we be manifesting for the USA tour? This is the last question.
LeBron James.
Donald Trump.
Donald? Mate, full send.
I want Mark
Goats.
Bell. He's a goat.
Mark Bell for sure.
Mark Bell.
Joe DeFranco.
Mark Bell would be top 3 for me. Joe DeFranco would be crazy.
You could get Pat D.
I actually could get Cressy to put a lot of feelers out.
Oh, Cressy.
Cressy
Even
might-
Cressy.
I'd get 100%. I'd get Cressy. Yeah, but the thing is, we've got to pick like 2 locations that we can just nail. So it's gonna. I
Mark
reckon
Bell's
one
in California, so there's a lot there.
California would be the
Yeah.
obvious one. There's pretty much endless people in
California.
California.
New York?
California.
No, Mark Bell's from California.
Or it could be Texas.
California and
California
New
on the
York,
West
or-
Coast.
Yeah. It could be Texas because Texas, you get the tuning Guzman, Anaka, Buff Bunny.
Guzman, we're
team.
coming for you.
I think Guzman would be my number 1 personally.
Max tuning would be good.
Max tuning would be a killer. And then
We're going to Texas, baby.
I think it's going to be
Apparently
Texas and
Te-
California.
Tejas.
Apparently, Tejas is mad.
I think it's going to be Texas and California when we go, boys.
Done.
I'm fine
See you
with that.
there.
We can go longboarding in California.
I'll bring my longboard.
No,
California.
Longboard, surfboard. Not
I wish
fucking
they
skateboard.
all could be.
All right, we're done. Thank you very much. Like, share, and subscribe if you can. That would be great. Oh, also, we probably should have put this in. Maybe I'll do a little ad. Actually, fuck it. I'm going to do an ad.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Like, share, and subscribe. Get to Spotify.
DM me for online coaching.
Yeah, and get us, come to the workshops if you want to come to the workshops. Squat one's nearly sold out. Bench press will never sell out because it's bench press. Deadlifts is third. All right, ciao.
Bye.